Park, and it's one of my favourite. Well, it's my favourite track after Donington Park. Always go well here. I wasn't worried, even though I made a bit of a faux pas at the first start. I wasn't worried because I knew I was quick and I could get quicker and quicker, and I just loved Donington. And the car was mega. Had a brand new engine built by Paul Streller in the winter. It's had everything new apart from the crank. So we was pushing it today, and it's all been running properly and it's all been tested properly for the first time in probably 5 years. So the car's had quite a bit of work over the winter, and yeah, it was worth that.
Graham, a great opening race there to the season. I thought you had that one.
So did I. You're not the only one. I selected fifth gear instead of third out of the chicane on the last lap. I didn't know it was the last lap, and there was nothing you can do. I mean, Duke just came past me. He was gaining on me hand over fist. If I'd managed to hold him back, it would have been a defensive win. I'd have taken it no matter what. He was certainly on fire. But yeah, I would have liked to have won it. But there we go. That's the breaks.
Jack, 2017 season starts really well for you. On pole position for your class and a race win, so can't get better than that.
No, for sure. Really happy with that. Fastest lap too, which was a bonus. Good to get the extra point for fastest lap, and it was reasonably easy. So yeah, happy with that.
Is Donington a favourite track of yours, or is it just all coming together?
Last year got pole for both races actually, so no pressure going into qualifying this morning. But races broke down in one and just wasn't quick enough in the other. So yeah, I do enjoy the circuit. It flows nicely.
Paul, great to see you back on the grid this year. It's going to get more intense, I think, this championship for you because there's some newcomers. But second place, good start.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with second place. Yeah, it was. I saw Jack when saw the chaos had kind of calmed down. Jack had a nice big gap. He'd done well, and there was no way I was catching him. He'd have to fall off or have a mechanical failure for me to get anywhere near him. So well done to Jack. But yeah, second, I'm chuffed. Good start.
So Andrew, great first race opener for the season for you here, and third place. So you must be pleased with that.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. Starting 10th and coming through the field, I was in second. I felt like I was catching the leader, Jack. But just didn't have enough in me to go forward. I decided to give Paul an easy sort of pass just to see if we could go and catch him, and then I can sort of stay with Paul. So yeah, I sort of settled for third, but starting 10th and coming through. We had clutch issues this morning. The new clutch over the winter in it, but the clutch cable decided to destroy itself. So one of them things, but at least we got a third in the end.
Matt Turnbull, great race win there in the 160 class. That must give you good confidence as we go into start the season?
Yeah, definitely. It's the ideal start we could have only dreamed of last weekend. So, yeah, it's a great race. Good to be here. The weather's nice as well, so that's always a bonus. So, it's looking good.
One important point is you've just broke the lap record for your class, so that's another good positive.
Yeah, definitely. Going into this weekend, because Will, who won the championship last year, moved up to 170s, so he was my target really. I didn't want to win this year because he's moved up, so he's my target to beat his time. So we got that in qualifying and in that race, so very pleased with that, definitely.
So Gary, great to see you back on the MG Trophy Championship grid. Now, you used to do this a few years ago. I believe you went away, did the Cockshoot Cup, and now you're back again. So what's brought you back?
It's just a great championship to be in. I enjoyed it in 2009, 2010, 2011, but I changed cars and decided to do the Cockshoot Cup for a few years. And I got the ZR back, and I'm back doing the trophy now.
So since you've been away, things have developed quite a bit with the championship. There's more people on the grid. It seems to be more competitive, and sort of the racing seems to be intensified. So how have you found it in this sort of qualifying and first race out there?
Yeah, there's a lot more people on the grid now, and trying to get your space for qualifying is a bit difficult now. But yeah, the quality of the drivers seem really good, and yeah, really pleased.
So clearly you love racing from what you've done in the past. Are we going to stick with this now? Are we going to see you for most of the rounds?
Yeah, I'll stick with the trophy for the full season, and I'll do all the rounds, yeah.
Tom, another welcome return of a driver back onto the grid. Now, you were the MG Trophy Championship a couple of years ago. Took some time out, did some Clios, and now back again. So what's brought you back?
It's a really affordable way to get into car racing. And when I did it before, which came straight from karting, which the budgets are obviously quite a lot smaller. and we came in to do the MGs for a year and didn't actually spend much more than we did for a karting budget. So it was a really good step up from karting to do this.
Now, the endurance defender is a key part, but having said that, first time you had a go at the championship, you did well. You're sort of second in class or third overall, so you're in the top league there. So is that the aim this year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we'd like to replicate what we did back in 2013. That was good. I like to think that some of the things I've learned whilst I've done Clios will help me come back and bring these across when I do the MGs again. But yeah, we'd like to be up at the front, taking a bit of getting used to the cars with the different tyres and manual gearbox and things like that without a diff. But yeah, we're getting there. We'll do a bit of testing, and then hopefully throughout the season we'll get back up there again and start winning some more races.
It is very good indeed to see Tom Butler back in the championship. He was third overall in 2013. Andrew Ashton, the winner of the 160 class, and overall Chris Bray second. Defending champion this year, as you've already heard, William Payne in number 7. William lines up down in 15th on the grid, 10th in class. There is Andy Spencer, and just coming into line, Jason Burgess, 6th in Class A. A fair way down the grid is Jason. He is 22nd, so we might see him doing a Robin Walker and coming through the field as this continues. Doug Cole and Ross Macker on the front row of the grid. Adrian Ray, Class B pole from Jack Roberts. Class C pole, Matthew Turnbull from Andy Spencer. Lights are on. Ross Macker seemed to anticipate the start very well indeed. So Ross Macker from the outside of the front row of the grid slots in indeed to lead position. It's Doug Cole second, Robin Walker at the moment third. No, he's not third, because up the inside line comes Graham Ross. Ross makes it up into third place. The 77 car is being hung out to dry and is passed by a couple more cars. Adrian Ray and Gary Wetton going through, and I think that's basically put Robin Walker down into 6th or 7th place. Here we go on board with Paul Luty. Luty qualified third in class behind Jack Roberts, and as you heard, Adrian Ray. So a battle resumption for those guys. Simon Byrne is in behind at the moment. Here's the view looking back from Paul, going up into Schwantz, but it's Ross Macker that leads this one. I wonder if we're going to see any double class winners this weekend. Certainly we've got some very, very competitive racing in this College Motors MG Trophy meeting. So Macker the race leader from Doug Cole, but Cole coming under big pressure at the moment from Graham Ross. Outside line there for Simon Byrne. Luty is on the inside. Here's the view from Paul Luty, Byrne challenging him. Luty looks both ways just to see who's on track around him, coming down into the Roberts chicane. It's Byrne that gains that position. James Cole in the 88 machine immediately behind has a good run there out of the... I'll tell you what, James Cole, like Doug, very quick out of the chicane, particularly on that one, got a very good run, got ahead of Simon Byrne. Paul Luty's immediately ahead of him, and James, though, being forced to use the outside line, he's going to cut back in, grabs the apex. Good corner there by Paul Luty, doesn't run too wide, maintains position, nips across, grabs the bit of track going through Hollywood, and coming down is a great view, back view, facing view for Paul Luty. You don't see too many rear-facing onboards coming down through the crane of curves. That's a wonderful shot, really superb to see. And Paul Luty has had a good run of this so far, but not having a good run is William Payne. The defending champion is the first retirement of race 2 of the meeting. That is a shame. We don't get too many returns. Think of the number of cars we've got in this championship, and very few retirements. So great driving standards and good preparation as well. Ryan Firth in the yellow 46, and we go back to 27 and 90. Tim Martin in 27, Joe Cruttenden. Those two dicing over 6th place in Class C. Puff of smoke out of the back of Cruttenden. Let's hope that's not a sign of bad things to come as they, as I say, battle over 6th position. Here is the view again, though, from the 77th machine of Robin Walker. Walker getting stuck into his racing, hasn't got as many Class B cars to have to deal with as we go on board with Graham Ross. Ross is passing Doug Cole, coming down through the curves. Cole is on the outside line here and respects it. He can see the car coming up on the inside line, but there's too much momentum on the back end of the 92 car. Cole's off on the dirt. Well, they were both in different points of the race there, really, because the 92 car lost grip on the back end and Cole went wide and off onto the dirt. effectively the two moves cancel each other out, and Doug Cole stays in second place. Luthi, meanwhile, is challenging hard here and looks to the outside line of Andrew Rogerson. Luthi doesn't care where he places the car. If there's a pass to be had, he'll do it inside or outside. And coming up the inside line now is Jack Roberts, who goes from third to first. Roberts, great move by the driver of the 31 car. Now Paul Luthi, but Rogerson's wise to it and has teed up a very good exit of Coppice, coming down the exhibition straight. And Luthi, again, we heard these two drivers were talking about working with each other. Luthi goes down the inside line and reclaims second position, with Rogerson now in the lead. Jack Roberts back in third place. Jason Burgess, remember, has done very well indeed. Jason Burgess, 22nd on the grid. This is effectively the second group of cars on track. So Burgess looking at the outside line, admittedly has more power, but he's still got to use that. Goodness me, Paul Luthi, the meat in the sandwich. Burgess goes off, comes back on, using all the dirt, all of the exit road there. Jack Roberts still immediately behind us, and behind them, behind Jason Burgess, the man who started on pole position in class, Adrian Ray. So Adrian is fourth in class at the moment. Here we go, back with the race leaders though, and Doug Cole goes for the lead, but Graham Ross spots a gap and fires his way through on the inside. 3 wide for the overall lead here. We're on board with Doug Cole, but Ross has come through. He's got the inside line. Ross Backer is on the outside, and Doug Cole here. Pick a line, Doug. Inside or outside? He goes for the inside. It's the outside for the second part of the chicane. Bang! Into Ross Backer. Doug Cole winds up on the grass, keeps the momentum going, and they're side by side for second position. That number 90 car, Joe Cruttenden, we said that might herald a problem. It looks as if that is the case. Here's the view from Jason Burgess. Jack Roberts immediately behind. Here we go across the line. Goodness me, some superb racing here. Andy Spencer busy chasing Mike Harris. Andy Spencer was second in Class C in race number 1. Tony Jones completing the podium for Class C. Matthew Turnbull is still out front in Class C, the white sun strips. And you can see that Jason Burgess enjoying his race, but he wants to clear this group and, if possible, try and close in on the likes of Graham Ross, Ross Backer and Doug Cole up at the sharp end of things. But this is the battle for the lead in Class B as Jason Burgess tries to dive down the inside of Rogerson. Well, Jason Burgess has cleared the battle for Class B, which is going on here. Paul Luthi looks at the inside line of Andrew Rogerson. Chasing him is Jack Roberts in number 31. So the Class A car should, in theory, now pull away. Luthi's got the inside line, looking for the class lead, coming into the chicane here. He's going to go through, he does. But I tell you what, Rogerson was having nothing about it. He knew he'd lost the lead, but he did not want to cede second position. And Jack Roberts has got to try and get that back. It's so close between these guys. Here's Phil Tomlinson, followed by John Booth. Booth running in a podium position in Class C. So having a good run there, and you do get to see the Class C cars mixing it with some of the guys in Class B, which is great to see. Tony Jones and David Heisman, these guys fighting over fourth place in class at the moment in Class C. You can't tell that Heisman's in Class C because he's lost his windscreen, so I'm not quite sure how the aerodynamics work on that. I suspect there's probably a fair bit of turbulence going on. But at least we've got David Heisman out running and not overly far away from a class podium. Back to the race leaders though, as you can see, it's Graham Ross from Doug Cole. What can Doug do about the race leader? He closed up on him in race number 1 and snuck through in the later stages. Are we going to see a repeat of that? Maybe a nail-biting finish. It's Tim Martin that they're closing up on, running 6th position in Class C. Backmarker driver, and has he seen the race leaders coming? Oh, probably at last knockings. And Ross and Cole make it past him safely. That's the difficult thing. It's not always easy, obviously, being at the front and having to negotiate back markers, but it's also very nerve-wracking as a back marker if you've got a less powerful car, particularly when you get into the right-left situation of the chicane, which is where these Class B runners are coming up now, where to place the car if you haven't got the experience of that. Thankfully, nobody too unsettled about that as we watch the 55 car. Tom Butler, the man we spoke to just before the start of the race, engaged with Gianni Piccioni, the black and green car. James Cole at the head of this group at the moment, but Simon Byrne goes for the burn up round the outside and through on the inside line goes Ryan Firth, newcomer to racing, as you can see. So a great move by Simon Firth. I think Ryan Firth, I think he was one of the two cars that we saw going off at Coppice on the gravel in race number 1. The other one, I think, was Adam Jackson. If I work it out right, as Cole gets physical, going down into the old hairpin, grabbing the place back off Simon Byrne. Ollie Hood in the mix as well in red and black. Adam Jackson is in behind those guys. Superb racing here. Oh, goodness me! Ollie Cole gets swamped. James Cole gets swamped by two cars there. And I said an Ollie because it was 63 Ollie Hood who went through, with Simon Byrne in the mix as well, and James Cole will fight back. Adam Jackson is there, Gianni Piccioni is there as well, Tom Butler in 55 is there too. Black car at the back of the group, I suspect, is possibly Richard Marsh, the number 19. So they now come along exhibition straight. Cole and Byrne having a super race out of it. Ollie Cole's, I beg your pardon, get me Ollie's money, Ollie Hood in 63. Up ahead of these boys at the moment. Massive sort out going on for some serious points. Somebody who won't be scoring points is Paul Savage, who becomes the third retiree of the race, joining Joe Cruttenden, and early retirement Will Payne, as we go on board again with Doug Cole. Second position for Doug. He's got some work to do going past the Jones and Heasman battle, and Heasman on the outside line at the moment. Doug wants them to get a move on. He's going to swing round the outside, coming down through Hollywood and into the Craner curves. No problem at all for the 99 machine, but he's lost a little bit of ground. These two battling over third place in Class B. Adrian Ray started on pole position. Jack Roberts, the race 1 winner. It's Paul Luty out front in class at the moment, on his way maybe to first class victory of the year, as we ride on board again with James Cole coming under pressure from the number 4 Simon Byrne. Goes through. These two have had an absolute ding-dong in this race. Superb stuff from the pair of them. And Gianni Piccioni in black and green, moving up from the 160 class. And I think class is the word here on his debut. He's doing a great job coming down into Redgate, but James Cole having absolutely none of it. There is Ross Macker. He's running in third place, the man who started in second position on the grid in this one, pole position in race number 1. Doug Cole is second in this one at the moment. Could be even Stevens points wise between Ross and Doug Cole. Good battle going on though for fourth place. Gary Wetton holding sway at the moment over Robin Walker. Walker, who had to make good through the Class B cars in race number 1, something that we're seeing Jason Burgess do in this race. And Walker comes down on the outside line, side by side at the moment with Gary Wetton. You've got to be brave to try that line, but it doesn't work for him, and he'll tuck back in. Meanwhile, back to the race leader. Graham Ross is clear. Ross has got the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 21.179. Back to Walker and Wetton. Wetton out front in the white 22. They're getting into back marker territory as well, so keeping the mind on the battle that they're having, as well as trying to catch and pass the back marker traffic. The Class C cars and some of the tail end runners in Class B as well. They're coming through as we're in towards the closing stages now, onto the last lap of our College Motors MG Trophy meeting, and still again this battle for fourth position. Wetton holds on to it. They've only got 1.9 miles to go here. That's the distance of a lap around the national circuit here at Donington Park. Walker challenging Wetton very hard indeed. These two, I think, are going to have a chat in the bar about this race afterwards, as Piccioni goes up the inside line on 63 Ollie Hood. It is Richard Marsh that's in the mix as well, but we're hearing that he may well have a time penalty for track limits. So Marsh may well finish a little bit further down than we're seeing him at the moment. James Cole, though, is running 7th in class. Simon Byrne having got the better of him, and ahead of them, Ryan Firth in the yellow car running 5th in class. Adrian Ray is now 4th behind Jack Roberts. Andrew Rogerson 2nd in Class B. Paul Luty is the class leader in Class B, but Robin Walker still looking for 4th place, as working his way through the traffic towards the checkered flag is Graham Ross, who's going to take it. Graham Ross passes Tim Martin for the 2nd time, much less hassle getting past him this time, although very nearly the same point on the track. But our congratulations to Graham Ross, who takes the win. Here's the battle for 4th place between Wetton and Walker. Ahead of them, Ross Macker 3rd, Doug Cole in 2nd place. Gary Wetton, though, is going to take 4th from Robin Walker. Here's Paul Luty, a Class B win for him. 2nd place in race 1, and the win flashes the lights. Thumbs up from his pit crew. Andrew Rogerson finishes 2nd in class, but in Class C, Matthew Turnbull makes it a double. The only driver to take a double this weekend. He wins Class C with Andy Spencer, I think, coming home in 2nd place. But it was Graham Ross who took the honours in race number 2. There is Paul Luty, who took the class victory in Class B, and the 64 machine of Matthew Turnbull. Great start to his season, double win in Class C. And here's the overall result. Ross with Cole and Macker, Wetton and Walker, Jason Burgess in 6th, Paul Luty winning Class B from Andrew Rogerson, Jack Roberts and Adrian Ray. Then in 11th place it was Ryan Firth from Simon Byrne, James Cole, Gianni Piccioni, Tom Butler, Ollie Hood and Adam Jackson. Richard Marsh 18th from Ollie Coles and Andy Firth. Patrick Booth next from Matt Turnbull, who wins Class C. Mike Harris was next from James Blake, Andy Spencer and Phil Tomlinson. John Booth, David Heisman, and then Tony Jones and Tim Martin in 30th. Fastest laps, Ross, Robertson, Turnbull, and Baz is with Graham Ross.
No missed gears that time, was there?
There was one or two, but I'm not bothered boring you with the details. Further around the track, I missed them rather than selecting the wrong one. But all fell into my hands this time, and I'm delighted. I'm over the moon. Always wanted to win at Donny. It's one of my favourite tracks. So
it's first time, is it?
First win at Donington.
Wow.
And sort of, I don't know, 5 or 6 times I've been here. So really chuffed with it. Aye, delighted.
Doug, another great finish there. A bit of a reversal of the first race.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we had a great race. I mean, all 3 of us were on it, and I was actually keeping up with Ross quite happily. And then I got turned over by a couple of sets of back markers, but that's racing, unfortunately. First one, he got past him at the chicane. He managed to squeeze through, and I tried to get through, and then he sort of gave me a smack in the side. And then I went down here, and there was the guy with no windows. They were racing. They'd driven their own race, and then there was 2 of them wide down the rock trainers, and then Graham's disappearing in the distance, and I'm going nowhere, and I'm looking in the mirror and Ross is catching, and I'm thinking, oh crap, no, come on. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we come back with no damage, 2nd and the 1st pole, fastest lap. It's not too bad, is it?
Ross, great opening weekend for you in the 2017 season, 2/3.
Yeah, it was a really good race. Pole, obviously, in the first race. We couldn't follow it up with the win. We lacked a little bit of race pace. I can't be too hard on myself. We made the most of the situation. We were a little bit slow, but we had a great race and I really enjoyed it. It was really close, especially the first halves. A lot of dicing, a lot of interesting moves, so no, it was really enjoyable.
First race, cleared out the cobwebs. 2nd race, 1st place. Not bad a weekend.
Yeah, and do you know what I'm going to love the best about this? Is I get to tell the team, haha, I told you so, regarding the old tyres. They all laughed at me, said, get some tyres in that car. Like, nah, I'm not doing it.
So this was on the old tyres, was it?
Yeah, but actually, I think it kind of worked to my advantage.
You won?
Well, no, but like at the end of the race, it looked to me that the guys behind were really slowing up, probably due to tyres going off. Okay, they're fighting each other, but I think the newer tyres are going off quicker.
Sadly, that's all we've got time for today, but we stay with the MG Trophy for our next edition of Last Lap, which comes from Brands Hatch. Please join us then.